One of the things I absolutely love about Hawaii is that there is always something new to explore and discover. And in today's episode, we're going to explore 5 things you probably didn't know about the island of Oahu. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or just planning your first trip to Oahu, I guarantee you'll learn something new and interesting today. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back and join me as we uncover some fun facts about the island of Oahu.
Aloha! Welcome to Hawaii's Best. Here, you'll learn what to know before traveling as we discover Hawaiian culture, local businesses, and the experiences that make Hawaii one of the most incredible places in the world. And now, your host, Brian Murphy.
Aloha and welcome back to another episode of Hawaii's Best. If you're tuning in for the very first time, just want to say aloha. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you found this podcast, that means that you're interested in Hawaii, you love Hawaii, maybe you're traveling to Hawaii for the very first time, and that's what this podcast is all about. But more than just talking about fun facts and things to do in Hawaii, this podcast and Hawaii's Best Travel is all about traveling with aloha. So with everything that we do, it's all about being a responsible visitor to the islands and how we can travel responsibly. And we do that by learning from local and native Hawaiians there in Hawaii. And we have a lot of episodes that we cover. One of those episodes that I want to just draw your attention to is from a previous episode back in January of this year, 2023, where we had Elijah Kala McShane on, and he talked about 5 ways to show respect for the island's culture and people when traveling. So that's episode 77. You can go to hawaiisbesttravel.com/episode 77, and you can listen to that there, maybe after you listen to this episode, about 5 things you may not know about the island of Oahu. First one on the list, you're probably familiar with Hawaii's state bird, the nene, but did you know that Oahu has its very own indigenous bird? It's called the Oahu ʻElepaio, and it's a fascinating little creature with a big role in both Hawaiian culture and the island's ecosystem. The Oahu ʻElepaio is a small bird that belongs to the monarch flycatcher family, and these little cute birds are quite active, and in ancient times, Hawaiians believed that ʻElepaio were guardian spirits of canoe makers. These skilled craftsmen would venture into the forest to select the perfect tree for building a canoe, and as they inspected the trees, they would watch for the presence of the ʻElepaio. If an ʻElepaio was found on a tree, it was believed that the bird was searching for insects to eat, and this indicated that the tree was not suitable for canoe building as it was likely infested with insects and would rot. Now, on the other hand, if the ʻElepaio did not land on the tree, the canoe maker would assume it was free of pests and would proceed with confidence in their selection. And in this way, the ʻElepaio played an essential role in the creation of canoes, which were obviously vital mode of transportation for ancient Hawaiians. These little birds also play a crucial role in maintaining the health of Oahu's native forests. As they are insectivores, they help control insect populations, which can have damaging effects on native plant species if left unchecked. And in this way, the ʻElepaio serves as a vital link to the island's ecosystem, helping to preserve the balance of life within the forest. All right, number 2 on the list of fun facts about Oahu is the Kaena Point Space Force Satellite Tracking Station. However, before I go on, I just want to acknowledge and take a moment to address the controversy, maybe you're not aware of it, that surrounds the Kaena Point Satellite Tracking Station. As with many military installations, there are concerns about the environmental impact and the potential disturbance to the natural and cultural resources of the area. Many argue that the presence of this tracking station disrupts the delicate balance of the surrounding ecosystem, potentially affecting wildlife and plant species. Additionally, there are concerns about the visual impact of the facility on the otherwise pristine and quiet landscape and how it might detract from the natural beauty of the area. There are cultural concerns as Kaena Point holds a great significance for Native Hawaiians. The area is considered sacred and is associated with numerous cultural traditions and legends. For some, the presence of a military installation in such a culturally significant location is seen as a sign of disrespect. So it's important to acknowledge these concerns and recognize that there is an ongoing dialogue about preservation of the environment and cultural heritage of Hawaii. So with that in mind, it's located on the westernmost point of Oahu, nestled within the landscape of the Waianae mountain range. It's quite a sight to see. It's a series of large white golf ball-like structures perched on a remote cliffside that overlooks the ocean. And if you're traveling on the west side, you're staying on the west side, especially if you're in the Ko'olina resort area in the town of Kapolei. It's worth taking a drive out to Kaena Point. You can't go to the station, obviously. It's not open to the public, but you can get a glimpse of it by hiking the Kaena Point Trail, which is a beautiful coastal hike that takes you through the wildlife sanctuary and offers stunning views of the ocean and surrounding landscape. All right, number 3 is the Nuuanu Pali Lookout. This important landmark is a must-see destination for anyone interested in the rich history and culture of the Hawaiian Islands. Located on the windward side of Oahu, the east side, the Nuuanu Pali Lookout offers a panoramic vista of the lush Ko'olau mountain range, the sprawling windward coast, and the quaint little town of Kailua. But beyond its natural beauty, this scenic spot is also the site of a pivotal moment in Hawaiian history. In 1795, King Kamehameha I, who sought to unite the Hawaiian Islands under a single rule, led his army into the fierce battle against the defenders of Oahu, led by Chief Kalanikupule. This conflict, known as the Battle of Nuuanu, marked a turning point in Kamehameha's conquests. Kamehameha's forces relentlessly pursued their adversaries to the steep cliffs of Nuuanu, and tragically, hundreds of Oahu warriors were driven over the edge of the cliffs to their death, resulting in a decisive victory for Kamehameha. This triumph allowed him to consolidate his rule and establish the Kingdom of Hawaii, which lasted until the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy in 1893. Today, the lookout stands as a reminder of this important chapter in Hawaiian history. So as you gaze out into this beautiful landscape, it's really hard to imagine the fierce battle that took place here and the loss of life that took place here on that very spot. All right, number 4, as we continue our journey through Oahu's fun facts, we're going to continue to stay back in time and explore the ancient world of Hawaii and its heiaus, or sacred temples. Oahu is home to several well-preserved heiaus that offer visitors a chance to connect with the island's ancient past. One such example is the Pu'u'omahuka heiau, located on the north shore of the island. This heiau is the largest on Oahu, covering over 2 acres, and it's believed to have been a vital site for religious ceremonies and a focal point for political and social life in the area. So be sure you take some time if you're up at the North Shore, getting some shrimp, getting some shave ice. Be sure to take a visit to that heiau. And another one on the east side, the windward side of the island, is the Ulupo heiau, located in Kailua. This massive stone structure is thought to have been built around the 12th century and was initially used for agricultural rituals. Now, later on, it was repurposed for ceremonies related to warfare and training of warriors. And today, the Ulupo heiau is surrounded by a beautiful garden, and efforts are being made to restore and preserve the site for future generations. So it probably goes without saying, but I probably should say it because it's important to say that while visiting these heiaus, it's critical to approach them with the utmost respect and reverence. They are sacred sites, and it's essential to recognize their cultural and spiritual significance. So keep in mind that these are not places for climbing, picnicking, or other casual activities. Instead, use your visit as an opportunity to learn, to appreciate, and to honor the rich history and spiritual traditions of the Hawaiian people. As we wrap up our exploration of the fascinating hidden stories of Oahu, let's dive into the surprising history of one of Hawaii's most iconic tourist spots, that's Waikiki. Before the arrival of Westerners, Waikiki was a vastly different landscape. The area was dominated by swamps, fish ponds, and taro fields fed by the many streams that flowed from the nearby mountains. These wetlands provided an abundant source of food for native Hawaiians who cultivated the crops like taro and sweet potato. Waikiki was also home to a number of Hawaiian royalty, or ali'i, who built their residences along the shoreline there, and they were drawn to the area's natural beauty, mild climate, and fertile land. So the ali'i would use Waikiki as a retreat, enjoying surfing, canoe racing, and other traditional Hawaiian pastimes. As Western influence grew in Hawaii during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Waikiki's transformation began. It began with the construction of the Moana Hotel in 1901, known as the Moana Surfrider today, and it was followed by the Royal Hawaiian Hotel in 1927. Then Waikiki started becoming a popular destination for tourists seeking sun, sand, and surf, and everything that Waikiki was known for in that area. However, the development of hotels, resorts, and other infrastructure brought new challenges, and the once plentiful streams that fed Waikiki's wetlands were diverted to accommodate the growing population, and this led to the decline of Waikiki's swamps and fish ponds, as well as an increase in the risk of flooding. The Alawai Canal played a critical role in transforming Waikiki into the tourist destination that it is today. So it's essential to acknowledge the development of Waikiki has not been without its consequences, particularly for the environment and native Hawaiian cultures. The loss of wetlands has had a significant impact on local flora and fauna, and many of the traditional practices and lifestyles of the native Hawaiians have been altered or lost as a result. So next time you're there in Waikiki, soaking up the sun on one of the 9 beaches in that area, take a moment to appreciate the rich history that lies in that area. As we wrap up this episode, I want to remind all of us, myself included, as we travel to Hawaii, we travel with aloha, we travel with responsibility when visiting Oahu or any of the Hawaiian Islands. Please remember to respect local culture, environment, historical sites, and always tread lightly as you explore these beautiful and sacred places. And to get more resources, go to hawaiisbesttravel.com/episode 85, and you'll get everything that we mentioned in this resource. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this episode. And until next time, be well. Aloha.